From the earliest days of psychology, society has yearned to discover what makes humans think and behave the way that they do. Specifically, many people were interested in how humans naturally progress from babies to children to adolescents to adults. As such, there were many theories that emerged trying to hypothesize what was specifically occurring during cognitive behavioral maturation.
A psychological theory is defined as principles applied to the analysis and explanation of psychological or behavioral phenomena. Most often, it is individuals or a specific group of trained professionals applying their knowledge and experience in the field of psychology into a logical hierarchy to justify a process or mental heuristic. These theories can fall into numerous psychological perspectives, which each operate on their own set of beliefs and specific focuses in regard to the human experience. The most influential and impactful perspectives include biological, behavioral, cognitive, humanistic, psychodynamic, developmental, sociocultural, and evolutionary. For the purpose of this project, we will be examining two different theories that each fall within their respective subsets of cognitive and developmental psychology.
It is immensely important to understand children's capacities in order to understand the ways in which they learn. Kohlberg's stages of moral development, as well as Piaget's stages of cognitive development, have given us insight into the human mind and have allowed us to improve our methods of teaching. For example, Piaget's pre-operational stage of cognitive development may explain why it would be difficult to teach a 7-year-old the formula to finding the surface area of a triangle or figuring out which of two triangles has a larger volume in a geometry class. Piaget's stages of cognitive development begins in the sensory motor stage. In this stage, children aged 2 or under begin their learning through sensory experience. It is in this stage Piaget believed a child develops objects' permanence, the understanding that objects continue to exist even when they cannot be seen. Following this stage is the pre-operational stage of development. In this stage, children ranging from ages 2 to 7 are beginning to use language. However, they do not have the ability to comprehend ideas behind concrete logic, such as size constancy. Piaget then theorized children from ages 7 to 11 entering the concrete operational stage, where a child's inability to think logically about concrete events is no longer exhibited, for they now have gained the mental operations that allow them to do so. The final stage in his theory of development is known as the formal operational stage. In this final stage, adolescents are able to logically think about and comprehend abstract ideas.
Lawrence Kohlberg agreed with Piaget's theory that there were certain chronological stages of development, but sought to investigate how the concept of morality changed as children grew older. He viewed this as a more in-depth analysis of development because it tracked innate ethical assessments instead of general levels of comprehension. Researchers, including Kohlberg himself, most commonly utilize the moral predicament of Heinz's dilemma in order to evaluate what stage the participant is currently in.
Heinz's dilemma. Heinz's wife is dying because of a special kind of cancer. There's only one drug that the doctors think might save her. It is a new formula which a pharmaceutical company in the same town has recently discovered. The drug is very expensive to produce, but the company is charging 10 times the production cost. Heinz goes to everyone he knows to borrow money, but he can only collect half of what the drug costs. He tells the CEO of the company that his wife is dying and asks him to sell it for less so if he could pay at a later time. But the CEO refuses. He can make no exceptions. The research had been very expensive and the company needs to turn in a profit. What should happen next?
When in Kohlberg's pre-conventional morality stage, a child will display moral based on fear of punishment or motivation from rewards. In the conventional morality stage, the teenager or adult will display moral caused by the desire to follow the rules of society in order to fit in. In the post-conventional stage of morality, which only a small percentage of adults reach, people follow moral principles based on universal ethical principles.
For the purpose of testing the accuracy of Piaget's developmental stages today, we collected samples of children of various ages and evaluated their developmental stage according to Piaget's theory. And we compared it to the stage Piaget believed they should be in according to their age. We tested the preoperational stage by testing the child's understanding of conservation. Conservation is the idea that volumes remain the same even when they have changed shape.
Do you think these two glasses, do they have the same amount of water?
has more water, this one has more water, or do you think they're still the same?
This child is at, or above, Piaget's pre-operational stage because he understands that the water has the same volume in the bigger container as in the smaller cup. Then, we tested the concrete operational stage by testing if the subject understood abstract or hypothetical concepts. Next, we tested the formal operational stage by testing how well the subject was able to see different potential solutions to one problem and think critically. We did this by presenting the subject with a question. If you had a third eye, where would you put it and why?
I would have my third eye on the palm of my hand so I can see, everywhere. If I had a third eye, I would place it on the back of my head so I can see what's happening from behind.
If their response is something like, my hand, so I can see everything around me, this reveals that they are able to think critically and find a solution to a problem.
We thought it would also be insightful to try and determine the stages of morality of variously aged subjects. In order to test Kohlberg's stages of morality, we asked our subjects if Heinz should steal the medicine for his wife.
Should Heinz steal the medicine?
I think Heinz shouldn't steal the medicine because if he steals it, his wife might not accept it because he stole it instead of borrowing the money.
Should Heinz steal the medicine for his wife?
Yes,
Why?
to save his wife.
According to Dr. Donald Tyler from UIC, the environment, including interpersonal interactions and broader social cultural events, is always interacting with genes to shape child development and behavior. So it's always nature and nurture working simultaneously.
Early on, some people thought it was all genes, some people thought development was all environment, but currently we really think about it as being a combination of the two things.
Both nature and nurture are vital to the healthy development, mentally and physically, of a child.
Children's morality is subject to change and advance when they are influenced by someone at a higher moral stage than them. For example, Dr. Tyler states that the development of post-conventional reasoning is fostered by opportunities to take the perspective of others and to experience a discrepancy between one's current stage and the reasoning of someone at a higher stage. To advance to the post-conventional stage, interaction with others at higher levels is necessary. If a child lives in an environment that does not foster morals, the child will experience intellectual limitations because their social environment does not support advanced reasoning.
There's also data from kids who were raised in Romanian orphanages. Kids were not being very well cared for, and we know from watching those kids over time that if we take them out of that orphanage environment, we do see growth in terms of the kids, in terms of cognitive development.
Although Kohlberg's theory of morality was seen as valid when he initially proposed it, today there are some doubts about who the moral stages actually pertain to. According to our expert, Dr. Tyler, Kohlberg's theory is accurate from a Western male individualistic perspective. Research indicates that persons in non-Western culture, as well as women, often engage in different types of moral reasoning. For instance, moral reasoning in other cultures often reflect communal perspectives, and reasoning in women often represent a morality of care, emphasizing responsibilities towards others.
People have come to recognize that there are a few problems with the Piagetian theory. He kind of saw development as set of stairs that you go along. But more recent research suggests that it's more like a big line. They're able to solve some of the tasks maybe at a younger age than what Piaget thought.
We hypothesize that this early development is due to the increasing intelligence of people over time, which is also seen in the Flynn effect.
In the educational field, these theories have provided insight into how children learn and interact in a school setting. The understanding of cognitive and moral stages also helps improve parenting styles, which aid in raising a happy, healthy, and well-adjusted child. The small milestones reached in each stage play a large role in raising a mentally healthy child so that they may reach their full potential.